All right, all right. Now we're good. We were never not good. Everything is going great. Everything is going exactly according to plan. Stream. Nothing is out of place, and everything is exactly how it was intended to be. Yep, that's definitely how's it going. Speaking of how's it going, how's it going? Happy Monday. That's an unusual day for me, but hey, it's a holiday, so hey, days off, days off. Let me get my stuff all set up. This is working, right? I have side stuff monitoring. I'm on like a 5 or 6 second delay. That's fine. Better than it was a few seconds ago, apparently. Um. All right, all right, all right. So my mother-in-law practically committed a war crime today by microwaving a bunch of lobster in the microwave. Uh, that was fucking terrible. But hey, I just gave me another excuse to run upstairs here to uh, sneak back in and keep painting minis. Speaking of, I got the minis. All right. So I wasn't 100% sure which one I wanted to do tonight. I've got the old Radagast, which is what I decided on, and I also had Saruman and Grima Wormtongue. And Gone Birdie Gone. That was the one I was originally thinking about doing, but I keep got a few heroes painted up for armies I haven't started yet. And I really don't want to wind up with a bunch of painted heroes and then never do armies for him. So Radagast is kind of a loner, so he's fine. He's fine. Plus, I spent the last couple days painting 32 goddamn wood elves. My hands are so sore from painting these guys yesterday. I still have another couple steps on them. Eyes. I gotta do the green on the cloaks. Gotta highlight that. But there's a bunch of them. They're really rough. But I'll be done with a lot more than that, aside from just a couple guys. Oops. A second. Back into a thing. But I think after that I only have 3 models left. There's a couple I still have to get, but I only have 3 left in my possession. What? Let me log in. Oh yeah. One thing after another. Which email is this? What a pain in the ass. Okay, login code. There we go. Everything is good. Cool. Alright. So, Radagast Brown. Alright, I never got any of the... Even now, I think I've only got like a couple models from the Hobbit line. A lot of that came out when I wasn't able to play the game, so I never got any. And I've gotten a couple kind of accidentally... like just in like Lost, there was like an extra guy or two. But so I don't have any of the newer bird poop on the head Radagast. I have the old original Radagast. Just some lights here. Flick this one on too. It's a little better. A little brighter. A lot of bit brighter. A little too bright. But alright, we're good. But so I never had any of the ones from the Hobbit line. I just had the original one before Radagast ever made any kind of screen appearance. So fortunately, I've got a shitload of brown paints. So let's see here. He's got, being all one brown would be so boring looking. So I've got, let's do Rhinox for his tunic. Catachan, Mornfang, and XV88. I think that's, one of these is really liquidy. That one's really liquidy. Like that one. They're practically the same color. Let's see what else he's got. He's got the Raven. He's got his staff. And some grays and stuff for his beard and that stone thing. I'll need a couple colors for leaves too. Is he glued in yet? No, he's not glued in yet. Perfect. Oh my god, I got some turtles and alright. His back is just entirely cloaked, so I don't have to worry about a lot of that. Head feels fuzzy. Ooh, what is that? Don't do that, head. Ooh. Let's see. Tunic. Cloak. Pants. Boots and gloves. That works for me. And I'll pick up the other colors when we're so. Little bits from highlighting the elves. Those are pain in the ass. They're a pain in the ass. To fight and to paint. Mostly to fight. Alright, so what I want to do... What are the pants? Oh shit, what did I just say I was going to do? Pants, tunic, cloak. There we go. Pants first. Steel Legion Drab. This one's already pretty watered down, just because I accidentally did that a while ago. I got it on my thumb instead of the model. Real slick there, Flamel. It's a little thin, so it's gonna take a couple coats. I can tell already. Wizards. Yeah, so as I was saying, my mother-in-law went and microwaved a lobster. Like, holy shit. Trying to enjoy my dinner, and then suddenly I just get accosted by this awful stench. Oh my god. I just take my pierogies and retreat upstairs to hide. Because, goddamn. Alright. Fortunately, I think a lot of his color is going to be pretty quick. He might not be too long of a model to paint. He's got a lot of stuff on him, but it's all pretty much browns, which means when it comes to, like, doing any of the shading, it's just going to be splashing it with Agrax. Calling it a day. I forget when they made this Radagast model, like what expansion it was for. Because after the Lord of the Rings came out, They did all the Fellowship of the Ring stuff. They did the Return of the King and Two Towers stuff. I can't remember when they did Hobbit stuff. Well, okay, no. They did Hobbit stuff with the movies, which is like a decade later, I think. So, in that in-between time, I think they did like the Fall of Khazad-dûm. And what else? The Fall of Moria, things like that. They did a couple expansions with like Dunland and the Variegs of Khand and like a lot of the guys that were like mentioned or barely seen or just touched upon. War in the North and stuff. I don't know when they did this Radagast. He may have been there like really early. Because I think one of the people at the store I used to go to painted up an elven army and used him and painted him so he looked like Santa Claus. And so they did like a Christmas elf army. All the spears were like candy canes. I can't remember if they included chariots that looked like they were pulled by reindeer. They didn't. Elves didn't have chariots though, so I don't know what they used, or if they used some existing rules, or just made them up. Maybe they were just elven knights, and they put antlers on the horses. All right, well, there's his pants. Rhinox hide, on the other hand, I know is one of my older ones, and it's gotten very thick. It's gonna need a lot. It's gonna need a lot of water too. Speaking of water, where's my water? Here it is. Haven't had to water the garden in a few days because of all these storms. We did pull up a bunch this morning and planted a shitload of onions. I put a ball on this one because it is hooked up. Yeah, it is real thick. Okay, that's how thick it was. It didn't even get, like, on the lid. Whoops. Maybe too big of a blob. Flush out some of my blue. Ooh, that may have been too much. That was too much water. Yeah, shit. It'll be fine. Alright, just his tunic. So we get the first coat on with this brush. Get that clear off so don't waste any paint. I hate wasting paint. Like this glob here did not have to be anywhere near that big. I feel pretty bad using up that much. It's kind of like a Jedi with these colors. Which I just realized I missed some parts. Because it's not pants, it's like an under tunic. We'll bring that XE88 back out. With a Steel Legion draft, that's what it is. Got to get. Got some in here. Like an undershirt. It's also got sleeves. No, wrong part of the sleeves. This part of the sleeves. What a mess. What a mess. I'm fumbling and failing at this already. Oop. It's one drop count. That other sleeve, he doesn't have the Falconer's glove on this arm, so it's just this one sleeve. Just one sleeve there. Okay. That's all tunic. That's all tunic sleeve. Okay. And his back is like entirely cloak, so don't have to worry about that. All right. Where this Rhinox hide in here? Okay, let's do the underside edge. Here. Inside edge. Yeah, so I had like Gonberry Gone, Grima, and an extra Saruman that I was thinking about doing Saruman of Many Colors. I bought a couple paints for it, but he's still priming. So I figured, I'll wait. Let me get this guy done. I could do more Saruman and Grima stuff because my Isengard is one of my armies I've already got pretty much finished. Gotta do some Dunland, but I've got like the Forge World stuff left to get for Dunland. It's like, man. And $45 for 2 birds. Come on. I don't want to spend $45 on 2 birds. Not when I could print them. $30 printing has been great for like not giving a shit about mini pricing. Especially you can find minis that are fairly screen accurate. My Krebane looked pretty sick. Like a flock of crows over a dead tree, but they don't look like the sugar cookie looking ones like the official Forge World ones. That's what they look like to me. They look like you took some bird-shaped sugar cookies, put them in a tree. Shape is just too soft cookie cutter cartoon bird shaped for me. So I got one that's got some more realistic looking crows. They do have skulls all over the base, which is kind of like tacky. That's one of the big turnoffs of like 40k is for me. The aesthetic is so Gothic, Catholic, spiky church, filled with skulls and spikes. It's just so cartoonishly over the top that I'm like, bleh. Alright, that is, well, it's a little thin on his arm, so I think I'm going to do third coat here. Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, I could actually see like a physical difference. Very blatantly visible physical difference in color. Alright. Next brown. One thing. This is another one I've been using out of this pot for a long time. I don't think there's even any got in the lid there. Is there even enough in this pot to shake it anymore? Apparently fucking not. A little bit more water. My wet palette's not totally wet right now. I accidentally let it dry out. Voice cracked a little bit there. That was unusual. As much off of this brush as I can. Maybe you got big areas like that after. Well, maybe you guys don't do that. I think you guys handle your brushes better than I do. All right. Get everything up under the hood. So I decided I wasn't going to do Gunbriggon because I had to start painting the Woses, and I've got 12 of them. They're only usable in the little Rohan bit. And I hate painting horses, so I have not painted any Rohan. I've got dozens of the guys and dozens of horses. I just don't want to paint horses. God, I hate painting horses. It's very much like a muscular texture issue for me. They have a lot of the horses themselves, some of the men's capes have a lot of large, smooth surfaces on them. So it's like I can't quite get the shading across like horse muscles or cape flows. This is especially on like the newer capes from the plastic models, like the newer Saruman that I did the other day. His cape is very like 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, these old ones are like wiggly, and it's so easy to do shading on them. Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm painting up some wizards. Hello. How's it going tonight? Just kind of chilling and filling out some of the weird side characters for my armies. I had a friend who tried going barefoot for a whole summer, and it was going real great till he stepped on a broken beer bottle. He only needed a few stitches. He was fine. He was fine after it. Trying to get this paint stream going for a few days, but I kept getting rained out. I made the mistake of starting 32 Wood Elves and trying to paint them like consistently. So I was doing them all at once, and I beat. I am so goddamn done with painting Wood Elves after I finish their cloaks. We're gonna be getting a lot of Lord of the Rings puns. I'm all for it. I have cement models too. I haven't done. I have a lot of models I haven't done. My pile of shame is massive. I want us to have painted at least 300 models, so my pile of shame is only like 1,100 models. I know I have a shitload of Lord of the Rings models. I'm like, I want to say I'm at like 1,450 because I kept getting like old lots from people So it might have 1,300 models, but like 200 of them are just stupid little Moria goblins, and I don't want to paint 200 Moria goblins. But I've got them. This one dry brushing was really easy if I was using like makeup brushes. Just because they were wider, flat brushes, softer ones. They seem to do a pretty good job of doing it, covering stuff lightly. Might need a little bit more of this brown than I thought. That's a problem for me in 5 minutes. So. I was thinking about getting another copy of this model and painting them up like one of the blue wizards, but without any rules on them yet, I was like, nah, maybe not. Cloak just keeps going. So much of this model is cloak, it turns out. Like 3/4 of it is cloak. Fortunately, it's Radagast the brown, so it's all shades of brown. So when it comes time to like apply the shades and everything, it's just one big easy wash over most of them. So that'll be a quick step. But in the meantime, I guess I think I can ally him into Lothlorien, but I'm not sure. Don't know what the old rules were. I might have the old. I know I have the old book somewhere. Don't know if I have the ones that had him in it though. So the only rules I have for Radagast might just be Hobbit rules. But the I guess I could. I do have almost enough for the White Council actually. I haven't done Elrond yet. Glorfindel. I don't. Oh, I do have a Glorfindel. I've got the old Glorfindels too. I don't have the new one. Looks really nice. I don't have. Do I have the armored ones? I don't know. I had to make a massive spreadsheet to keep track of all the guys I had. And I got a message from my brother the other day, or this morning. Was it this morning? It may have been yesterday morning. He's in Scotland right now. He's going down to the Warhammer world. He's like, oh, I'll pick you up some stuff. Let me know what you want. I'll buy it for you because it's 40% cheaper here. And I was like, oh no, I can't afford this. But anyways, let me throw together a shopping list. So I might be getting a lot more models, please, or models soon. Because I was like, please buy them for me, but also will not financially recover from this. Plastic crack. Anyways, fortunately, I have enough browns to do different shades for everything on Radagast. Cloaks, tunics, undercloak, sticks, gloves, boots. Oh, and I've got some great eagles. So I guess I do kind of had Woodland Alliance ready-ish for tossing Radagast into it. I gotta redo my great eagles. I only have an original Gua here painted. But armies are getting there. Stuff's filling out. It's slow, but I'm getting there. I'll have everything painted one day, maybe. Probably not. Never. I would probably die before I could paint all my models. More. We need more. Sometimes the chat thing gives me an alert sound. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. I gotta. It's kind of hard to watch chat when I'm painting because it's like up and down, up and down. But sometimes it'll send me an alert and I don't look up and down. I have no clue what it was. Yeah, need more brown. All right, mix it a little bit more. Oop, a little bit's dripping. Snap pop. There's still blue in that. Oops. Whoops, mixed up with dirty water. Oh well, I don't care. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Mixing brushes all cleared off. I accidentally left my wet palette dried out, so it's just a regular old dry palette right now. So I gotta mix everything up a little bit more on it. But I got that old synthetic brush. I think it's obviously synthetic. I don't know what it. I don't know. I have cleaned it with acetone. That's not a Lord of the Rings pun. You're fired. Almost done with the base coat for his cloak. Depending on how dark the shade goes with it, I might just highlight everything with the original browns again. Because the Agrax was making things darker than I remembered when I applied it to parts of the elves. Alright, so there is his tunic, his robes underneath, and his cloak. So let me get something for his staff, boots, and gloves. And I'm going to use Catachan Flash for that. Oh, this is another one that sounds like I must have watered it down. Yeah, maybe not. Small one for that. Small stuff I don't want to use the mixing brush because it'll be just too big. All right, you're hired again. Like one of the ones I just saw was a couple in marriage counseling talking to a therapist, and she's like, "We're here because he won't stop talking Lord of the Rings quotes. I can't stand this relationship anymore." And the therapist asked the guy like how that makes him feel. He just sighs and responds, "Like butter scraped over too much bread." She just screams at him like, "This is what I'm talking about. He won't stop." I was taking some time to watch the Star Wars prequels, and I was having a little chuckle about all the scenes in the movie that became memes. And my wife was getting real annoyed, and she was just like, "God, somebody could say hi in these movies, and it would be a meme." And I just had to start laughing. I was like, "Honey, that happens." Hello there, General Kenobi. She was not amused. I like that he's got a falconer's glove and just has a raven on it. Like, I don't think raven claws are too terrible. Like, it's really not like a falcon's or an eagle. Regular bird of prey. Ravens kind of are. They're smart little buggers. I want a pet raven. I want a pet raven. I'm going to train it to steal money from people. I'll give it pieces of ham as a reward. They love that. They love meats that aren't normally in the food chain for them. Want to make friends with ravens and crows? Toss them shredded ham. There's ravens at work. I should make friends with some of those ravens. Tempting, tempting. Alright, I gotta get his staff without getting any of this on the rest of them. So staff and... Okay, so he's got some stuff on his belt. His staff has got some leaves on it. I know we need some greens for him. What else are we gonna need? Probably some gold and silver, just for like the basic clasps and stuff. Little brass clasps. Gold would be terrible for making a clasp. It'd be so weak, it would stretch and bend and snap off. Silver would be okay. Silver does tarnish with time. Nice silver oxide layer on it. Let's see, little bits of wood are sticking out through here. Sometimes the models are little and they only have the primer on them, they're so hard to pick out details. And then I'll paint over something and realize, oh, that was part of his hand. Oh, that was his arm. Oh, I thought it was part of his pants. This turns out to be an entirely separate chunk of fabric. I think it's real bad with the plastic models, some of the old ones. Like, there's just, like, because the angle of the model and shape so that it could come out of the mold. There's just, like, whole chunks between, like, somebody's arm and their body that are just solid. Alright, so there's the glove and boots. And staff. Now I gotta figure out what to do for all of the straps and pouches and shit. Those are on the dark tunic. I might want to just go with same as I did the cloak. I've already forgotten the name of the color. Mornfang. I've got a little dagger handle. Got a pouch on his hip. So I think that's a pouch. Yeah, it's some kind of pouch. Probably his mushrooms. Addled his mind and yellowed his teeth. And I'll make it the same leather as his belts on his hip. Now I gotta figure out what's... God, some of these are... Okay, so that's dagger blade. The tie his belt with a tree branch. There's like... I can't tell what it is. What is that? What the hell is that? I gotta pull up a reference pic. 1 second. What the hell am I looking at here? It is not belt loops. It's just some leaves in his pants. Okay, he's got leaves in his pants. That's fine. That's normal. It's an absolutely normal thing for a wizard to do. I don't know what these straps are. Some of it's just holding branches in his pants. Alright, he's doing whatever he's doing in the woods. Doesn't matter if he's got sticks shoved in his pants. That's a Radagast thing. Alright. Sleeves, tunic, weird leaves. More weird leaves. Alright, I think he's good. Alright, I think we're all set on the browns. Alright, so that covers all the browns. I still have to do leaves, beard, and stone. So we'll do Stratum and Eshin for the stone and beards. Corvus black, because Corvus means ravens or something. For the raven, I'll probably do a wash on that. Leaves. Alright, leaves. Some of this I already have. Let's do maybe a Vulcan green with a Thorn Forest highlight for the leaves. And actually, is that everything? Skin tone. Okay, I'm gonna put the kits over here. So I still have it for my elves. Alright, let's see. Figure those out. 3. That. Oh, all I can do is eyes. It's tiny models with their stupid eyes. Alright. Where are we? Here we go. What is this round? Heavy skin tone. This is a Vallejo. It's clogged. Alright. There's a little squirt for this one. Really tiny, because I only have like a face. I have one face and one hand. This is like the smallest one I've ever had to put on a human model. I do have some of those Condish warriors, I think. I have so many, I do not keep track of them properly. So what would happen is I'd see like somebody would be selling a lot on eBay or something, and it would be a lot of the models I didn't want, but several of the models in there I really wanted, because they were like I bought one lot for like $200, and for the metal models I wanted, it was like $300 something worth of guys. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna buy this. But it also came with a bunch of plastic troops that I already had, as well as even a few metal models I already had. So I ended up with like 3 extra copies of the Fellowship. So whenever we had new players join our group, I would just hand them like, oh, you're new to the game, thinking about getting into it? Here's a fellowship. Here you go. I just saved you $90. There you go. Introductory army. You have a whole hero army. Go nuts. Paint your favorites. And now I still have like several half-complete fellowships that I can just hand out to new players in our group. Oh, want the 3 hunters? Here you go. Here's a bunch of Sams and Frodos and even a couple Golems. Go nuts. Have fun. Oh, you want a bunch? You want an Eomer? I've got 8 Eomers. You want Boromir? I've got 9 Boromirs. Here you go. So like, because I kept doing that stuff like that, I wound up with a bunch of models that like I just didn't have. But don't have enough of an army to be like, oh yeah, let me start these guys next. Sitting on my desk over here next to me are several Easterlings, but it's only like 3 or 4. I can't get this up his nose. Paint his nose and eyebrow, damn it. There we go, got it. Lots are like a really good deal to buy sometimes. Sometimes I have to talk myself out of it. I'll be like, oh my god, someone's selling 20 Uruk-hai for $10. That's pretty great. And I have to stop and be like, stop, Flamel. You have 230 Uruk-hai. You don't need more Uruk-hai. You're never going to play this many Uruk-hai at once. Stop. It's like, oh, right. This is his face. Those are going to be highlighty colors. Bird. It's me. October, everybody just drinks grog. That grog that they make Merry and Pippin drink. What's the matter, boys? Can't handle your drop. Wonder how awful Orc Liquor is. Maybe it could just be gin. That's it. All the elves are disgusted by gin. They prefer their wines and ciders. Orcs just drink hard liquor. It's too much for the elves. They might be immortal. They can't handle their orc gin. Oh, I'm all out of gin. I love gin. Gin tastes like bug spray, but good. I love gin. I'm out of gin. I have to restock. So I'm making this a raven instead of like a crow. Well, let me take a look at the shape of the head. Yeah. Shape of the head, shape of the tail, that's a raven. That's so raven. Aha, old Disney Channel reference right there. Got almost done. I gotta get his feet. His feet are one of those things where it's like, oh, they're so small next to other stuff that have got different splashes of paint on it. I'm trying to struggle to figure out how detailed they went with it. Like, I can see his toes. There's something under his butt that I can't tell if it's like just space filler or if it's supposed to be like some falconers have like that strap that holds the bird. But I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to paint over it and ignore it. I've got... I don't know if I have the right metallic paint. Crows and ravens are very metallic-y purple. What do I got? 40 glasses and laser face? No, those aren't. Those aren't quite. Maybe I could do a Maguro over it. That might work. And if it doesn't work, I'll just add a little more like black wash to it. All right. Beard and stone. Just a little bit of Eshin for this. Eshin Gray is a good cool gray. We're doing a lot of these colors. I really don't have like an in-between between like the darker ones and these lighter ones. I gotta find something. Because they're not a good, it's not a good grayscale. It's like practically black, dark gray, very light gray, and then a bunch of whites that are actually gray, because Games Workshop whites are terrible. They're all just grays. Oh, did I want to do anything with the little swirly thing on here? Shit, I didn't think about that. Okay, hold on. Let me think about this real quick. He's got... The stone on his staff has a little sigil carved into it. I've got some fluorescent paints. I do have blue, but it's kind of... Blue flux? This isn't airbrush paint. Yes, this might work. Oh, that is running up over and out the cap. Whoops. I can get the sigil to look like it's glowing. Maybe. Where's that UV light? I do have a UV light over here. So this, it's not a very bright blue. Let's go. Okay, just goes like down, around, and over. Okay, I can kind of paint around it though, so that a little blue will show, and if I hit it with a UV light, it'll glow. Very, very niche. That's not even a niche thing. That's never going to happen in a tournament or anything. Oh yeah, we got this one board that's illuminated by black light. They're never going to do that. That would never be a thing. It would look sick with my Balrog on it, but... Alright, so let's let that dry. Let me do his beard while that dries. I would love to have, like, some over-the-head setups for tournament boards that had, like, LED things you could program in, like, oh, you want to play this battle here? We'll get this programmed in so that all the LEDs are deep, darker blues and purples and kind of dim, so it looks dark. But every once in a while they'll flash a little, like lightning storm. That'd be real sick. It would be reasonably doable. Like you just kind of build a box and shape it. You know, some big 4x4 monstrosity that you would never take tournaments. But if you ever set anything up at your own house, you'd be like, oh yeah, check it out. Check out the weird shit I went overboard with. Because I like to go overboard. Going overboard with my models and their bases is something I really enjoy doing. I'm going overboard with scenery too. The problem is that if you build a big board, you can't take it anywhere. I've got a Rohan board that looks, if you put it out in like real sunlight and take photographs of it, as long as you can't see the edges, it just looks like a real picture of a field. The problem is that I can't fit it in my car. So I've never played on it. It looks fantastic. I can set up my little Rohan village on it and send in my Urks to destroy everything. but I can't move it anywhere. Oops. Didn't think about that. Does not fit in the back of my car. A little more silver sticking through where primer didn't go all the way through. Back of the head, some hair down there in his hood. Hair always takes so long to paint because if it's like a metal model, it's got more definition in it. So like you have to swipe up each few strands or else your brush just doesn't hit them like it's doing right now. I don't know why I can't get this little bit. There we go. It just took a bunch of extra swipes. Swipe, 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 swipe. All right, what is that on the front of his head? Let me pull my rougher again. That is some leaves and branches he's got tied into his hair. Radagast is starting to sound like some kind of hippie. I kind of smushed some in the wrong spot there. But that's an easy... Yeah, it's an easy fix. I just got to hit it with the Mornfang again. Whoopsie. Alright. Working away to the other side of the beard, under the beard, next to the beard. Alright, I think get that right there. His shoulder in the hoodie. His hoodie. He's not wearing a hoodie. His hood. Alright, let's check out that sigil on the rock. That is a very dim blue. Find my UV light. It's somewhere over here. There are too many computer chairs in this corner. Oh, a beer. A beer. Alright, I found it. I take out some of these lights. No, it does glow. Camera caught it for just a second for you guys. I'll let the camera adjust again, maybe. You can see it for like just the briefest little flash on the camera. It does glow, which is nice. It doesn't glow great. I'm just going to see it glow, but I'm happy it's doing it. All right, so let's paint around this sigil. Right, so it looks like it's almost an upside down question mark shape. There's a fuzz from the paper towel. Right. All right, get some one there. Get around the edges and just get all of that backside taken care of. No sigil on this side, so screw it. Top is good, just slop it on top. All right. Down the edges. The edges close to the sigil, and I'm looking at here. Okay, that isn't part of it. That's just part of a dip in it. Let me get one of my... I do have one more smaller brush before my crazy small brush. Crazy small brush, I just use that for eyes. So. All right. I think I got some in the sigil. Put it. Yeah, it's glowing all right. I gotta like paint with the white on it real quick to make sure I cover all the spots. Some of it's still showing through. Neat. I should probably put some white over it or something. Just a teensy tiny. I've never made a glaze before. Some people will do glazes to do like the vents on their Space Marines and stuff to make them glow. I always work the opposite way. I always work light to dark, build up from there. Some other people work like dark to light, but do it by dipping in the paints and glaze. Oh, that was a bubble. That wasn't a paint blob. That was just a bubble. That will not pop. Okay, so there was nothing in that droplet, which I'm actually glad because I don't want to use that much. If I get just a little bit of this on the brush, and I dab it into the sigil, I wipe it away. Oh, that actually worked. I'm surprised that worked at all. Touch up the edge a little bit, but like, that actually worked. It no longer glows. Shit. Where'd that blue go? There it is. So if that worked with the white, it should, in theory, work with the blue. In theory. Really thin it, really thin it down. Brush and just kind of touch it to it, let it flow in. That made it much brighter. You can kind of see it's got the one white dot at the end of the staff. That's where the blue is glowing from. It does actually look like the sigil, which is nice. Hi, honey. Hello.
It is very warm.
Is it?
Yeah. Downstairs is freezing.
Hi. How are you? Hello. My wife is here. Hi.
I think the AC's on.
Since I only have to do washes on most of him, still let me glue him into his base before I do the leaves. I keep setting him on his back, and I'm just, it's probably gonna start scraping the paint off the cloak. Oh shit! What am I doing? What am I doing? I always make this mistake when it comes to setting up bases. My metal guys always need two magnets to hold them in. I always forget to put the magnets on until the end, and then I gotta like leave them sitting out once they're painted. Let me do that now with just this empty, unused, unglued base. And I found out the hard way when I was doing my Urukai, that if the magnets are, their polarities are switched, they're not going in the same direction, then they don't hold on as well. So I have a little magnet on a stick to help make sure that they all face the same way. Oh wow, that glued like instantly, not in the glue puddle. I really soak that one in there then. Whoops. I'm gonna save that one for a plastic guy. Let me do another one. glue. Magnet on one side to control which way it faces. This is, I just made this out of like a piece of Lego train track holder. The Lego train tracks come with like a little plastic stick thing in them to hold them together during transport. I just glued a magnet to the end of it. It works great. There's a little stick. Helps control the angle of all the magnets I put into stuff. Not the angle, but you know what I mean. Polarity. Just stick that on the other side of the base and I'll just flip right how I want them. Right there. Alright, let's do set that over here. There we go. Alright, let's do the leaves. And since all the leaves are just little dots, I'm just going to work out of... And this pot's lid is terrible, so I have to get my trusty jagged stick. It's all stuck up in the top. Maybe that's why. Oh shit, it came out. You tell this stick's got a lot of green paint on it, specifically because of this terrible pot. Alright. So this guy has got leaves all over his clothes for some reason. He's got some tied up in his beard. He's got some hanging on his belt. He's got some more on another spot on his belt. He would not be able to move silently through the woods, that's for sure. And he's got a bunch on his staff, so let's start working on those. Let's see. Yep, it just kind of goes all the way around in a couple of rings, it looks like. Maybe it is one long branch that comes together. I can't really tell. But hey, that's Radagast. Nobody really knows what's going on with him. Weird bundles of sticks. Wrapped up around leaves and junk. Alright, let's see. Got a lot of them on here. Fortunately, like, when it comes to, like, highlighting things like this, I just did a bunch of these on, Galadriel's mirror. That's got a bunch of little leaves on its base, little vines and ivy growing up the side. That was easier, though, because it was larger blobs, so I could take a larger brush to them. Right, go. Or almost all the way around. Almost. Every time I like move them a little bit more, I can see like another leaf I missed. Little spot I gotta get. That is all the leaves, I think. Nope, there's another one. Now it's all the leaves. All right. Oh, there was paint all over the stick. Right, I pointed that out earlier. I didn't realize it was wet. Right. Leave that there to dry. All right. Let me glue that second magnet on. And I'll glue him in. I think after this, we are good to shade him. This is considerably easier when it's got a model in it, it turns out. There we go. All right, let that dry. Oh, there's all kinds of crap in that crack. A lot of crap in that crack. All right. Trim that out. Now I can glue this goofy guy in. Right. He's in there tough, so let me... Shit. Alright, let me find something to cram him against. So okay. He is really... His little base support thing is really thick. And this base is kind of thin, so let me cram him in there, and I actually bent the base. Alright, he's in. He's in. He's good. I only bent it a little bit. Yeah, he wiggles. He'll be fine. The metal bracket thing he's on was a little thick. I didn't quite clear the center of this thing. That crow is not quite painted. There we go. Yeah, okay, crow's fine. All right. Let's apply a couple little washes with my wash brush. Where's my wash brush? There it is. All right. I'm not going to bother doing any green shading because it's just so little. A little bit. Whatever this Vallejo one is. What is this? Flesh wash. Appetizing sounding flesh wash. In the brush. Across his face and mouth. Said it all just absorbed into the beard, and now his beard has been shaded with it. Go. That won't take long to dry. Alright, now here comes the big one. We are going to be using a lot of Agrax. Wherever my Agrax pot went. There it is. I might mono oil this beard too. Just to get like in some of the deeper cracks where I can still see a little bit of pewter showing through. So let's Agrax like the entirety of this model. Effectively. Alright, we'll start with under tunic. yeah, basically this whole guy is just going to be coated with Agrax. It's kind of weird. The under tunic is like, it's not pooling in the recesses, it's pooling on the raised parts. Thanks, Radagast. Always doing weird stuff. Weird wizard stuff. Fortunately, the shades are pretty quick to apply. There's a little crack up in there with some pewter I haven't gotten. Alright. Undersides of the cloak, real heavy in there. That way it kind of pools and looks like darker folds in the bottom. I can see it too much, but like I said, I like to go overboard with my models a little bit. Look at his boots. Pouches. Alright. Do his sleeves and staff. See where the tip of his finger came off. Do enough on the staff to kind of shade it around the leaves. That'll make the leaves stand out a little bit more. A little bit at the bottom of the rock. Tiny, tiny bit at the bottom. So we hit rock bottom. Alright. So other arm. I think some of my Agrax might be thickening, getting just a little too dense. It's one of the pots I've had for a long time. I think most of the pot actually lost when I spilled it. Alright, cloak time. He has got a lot of cloak. Use the brush to push it up in there. Oh yeah, there's a little silver that got exposed. Really just got to push a lot of it into every like recess on the model. Here. Some running up this side here in this fold. Shoulders. Whoop, 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 almost dropped him. These shallow fold areas, like right here, are always really tricky for me. So I hate painting horses. Can't quite get the muscle definition on the horses right. Can't quite do the smooth shading into it like I'd like. This is going pretty good though. Alright, so he's got to take a minute to dry. While his main body's dry, we'll do the other non-brown parts. Do the highlights at the very end for the brown. So let's try something weird with that bird. This is Turbodorx Maguro. I want to say is the Japanese word for mackerel. I think this blob coming out here is all... It's not the paint. It's like a medium they stick in the tip of the bottles. I've only used this once before and got a little bit out. Yeah, it looks a little darker blue. But not by much. I think once this bottle gets a little more empty, it'll mix better, but I use this so... Well, I've only used it once before, so I can say it like, oh, I don't use it too often. I've only ever used it once before. Let's put this on the Raven and see if we can give the Raven kind of that sheen ravens have on their feathers. I'm gonna use this and some of the others on extra Saruman I have, so I can do a Saruman of Many Colors. That'll change color depending on the angle you look at them at. I also have to try to get a hold of some tetraethyl orthosilicate so I can manufacture some opals. And I want to make a Saruman shaped mold for one of the opals and synthesize one. So I'd have a Saruman of many colors actually made out of opal that would glow and flash and light up just like a gemstone. Well, he's certainly sparkly. I'll probably do a dry brush of the Corvus over it. It looks a little goofy now. Alright. Oh no, I was going to do a wash over it. I'm going to do a purple wash over the Raven. That might work. But now is my least favorite part. Eyeballs. So I got my Psycho brush. This thing is small. Alright, there should be enough white paint here that I can dot his eyes. I gotta go quick because this brush is so small that it actually like dries before I can even touch the eyeball most of the time. I got one very round one on this side, and I got one equally round one on the other side. That's okay. You can take like a round eyeball and then like paint it and trim it down into a different shape. It's when I get like one eye like this and the other one like that on a cheek. It's like, oh shit, God damn it. That's when it gets frustrating and angry. If I put the fluorescent blue on his eyes, will that give him blue eyes but also glow in the dark eyes? That might be doable. That could be doable, or it could be a mistake. Let me fix that little corner that got scraped. That might be doable. Could be a terrible idea. Let's do it anyways. I couldn't even see my brush. I was looking at it the wrong angle. All right, let's get... Oh, wow. Okay, I thinned that too much. It's not even making like a droplet on the brush. So it's difficult to see. So let me just pull out the tube. And weird shit with our wizards today. Can't even touch his eyeball. Did kind of give him a blue eye. Oh, that one hit his eyebrow. Hey, it kind of... I pushed a little of it into the right spot. That's acceptable. There is... So cut for that. Right. Done with that one. On the rack. Did it work? Does he have glow-in-the-dark eyes? He does. He looks almost like a White Walker. Sick. Absolutely sick. That was awesome. He's actually almost dry. That's actually kind of surprising. He's still got a few spots that are kind of wet. But so let's do the leaves. There's another one I'm just working right out of the pot. This is Lauren Forest. I've been using so much green because all the elves. Because I also did a bunch of Galadrim too. Which one's my smaller one? This is the smaller one. Just little tiny dots on there. Nothing too well defined or in the right place. Alright, now we got to do all the leaves on his staff. It's much easier now that they've got like the first coat of green on them. They just stand out more. Not once you get like the color separated on things, once you get the base coats done, they just pop out a little bit more. Makes them so much easier to paint. Like doing hair on a model, and you gotta figure out all the little bits, and if this is part of the hood or is that part of the hair. And then once you get the color on it and you go to highlight, it's like boom, 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 done. That's good. All right. There is. I did the silver on the blades last. My silver. All right. Hi, Pancakes. What's up, buddy? The cat's here. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. I'm here to whine. You want more dinner? He already had dinner. Hey, buddy. You know, these are Sour Patch Kids. You don't like Sour Patch Kids, buddy. All right. Let's do the face first. Face and hands. This is Vallejo's cadmium skin. Yeah, I'm only doing one guy, so I don't need much. All right, so do his hand first. It's always easiest. Hands are always super easy. That's not true. I hate painting hands. Figuring out shapes on hands, like on the plastic models, the old plastic models, is pain. Some of my metal models, while I was painting the elves, I noticed some of the metal models have really long fingers. Like, start wrapping around their weapon by, like, a lot. It's really goofy. We're talking like fingers that go like an extra joint to like curl all the way around something huge. Like, I did the motion to show what I was doing, but I didn't realize I didn't do it in front of the camera. All right, let's see. I always want it's easier to start with the nose. Look up to the forehead. Eyebrows. Side of the nose. We're close from the cheekbone into the side of the nose, but not quite all the way. That way you can get like the crease next to the nose. Get out of here, pointy stick. What the hell are you doing? Do you even have visible ears on this model? I don't think he does. I'm going to paint over the eyebrows just because I'm going to redo them later with color. It's just kind of hard to tell what I'm looking at here. Alright. Sometimes painting face is really hard because, like, you look at it at one angle and you think it's fine, and then you look at it the other angle and you realize that you never painted like half of it. Pancakes, buddy, you're coming in here crying, begging for snacks, buddy. I'll give you a bunch later. Pancakes is a big crybaby. He gets up at night and leaves the room and then cries because he's all alone. And it's like, buddy, you did this to yourself. We were sleeping. A little bit there on the side of his face. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought I went all the way in. Now that I held it at a different angle, there's like some strand of hair or something that just creates a big dark crease on his face. But there is a crease so that it's like hidden in there. Right? And then what's this last one? Pale flesh. Just the teensiest little dots. I'm only doing one dude. So do the top of his hand. Not all of his hand. He's got those like tendon lines in the back. Pancakes, buddy, what's up? Instead of doing his whole face, now I'm going to do the top of his nose, the top of his forehead, and his cheekbones.
You are too cute.
That works. All right. I'm going to use a little bit more of the Eshin Gray to put eyebrows on him now. Just dry up. It may have dried a little bit, but it may have dried a lot of bit. Oh yeah, there wasn't even anything on the brush. All right. Oh, that's coarse. That would have been the wrong color. Oh, I never put the null oil on his beard. Where the hell? Oh, I left it right here in front of me. I might be a little tired, in case you couldn't tell. Perhaps. Hey, Pancakes, buddy, what's up? Oh, you're headbutting my legs while I'm painting, buddy. That's not cool. Not cool, dude. That sounds like him.
He does. That's not very cool, but he thinks it is.
Sounds like Pancakes, buddy. That's right, buddy. What's up? What's up, buddy? What if I kidnap you real quick, buddy? What if you, kitty cat, come close enough that I can grab you? Getting nervous. He saw me legs move. No, come here. No, come here. You're sitting with me now. You're joining me while I paint. Come here. Hey, buddy. Hi. This is our middle cat. He cries all the time when I paint. Anytime the camera comes on or we start a project, he starts crying because he's not getting any attention. But when we give him attention, we don't know what he wants. He's just like, look at me. We're like, yeah? It's like, yeah, that's all I wanted. Just stare at me. You can't leave. You can only look. Everybody, get out of here. Or you can sit. If you're good, you can sit. He's not a lab cat. I want to make him sit. All right. Hold him still with my elbows. No, there is no escape. Quit your wiggling. Open this paint carefully. Just don't spill it. Don't move, buddy. You're good, buddy. You're helping me paint. You're not helping me paint. You're painting the butt. I just want to get a little of this on the beard so I can get some of the spots where it didn't prime underneath covered. This isn't the gloss, right? This is just the regular. Okay. I don't want to make his beard look greasy. That'd be gross. No, buddy, you whined for attention. You're gonna get attention. You earned this. You earned this. Okay. What did he break? He knocked something over on his way out. It's pancakes. All right. All right. So that's the normal. Oh, the crow. Let's put the purple in the crow. See if that makes it a little more. Just the Druki violet. So it's kind of glossy and sparkly right now. This is the purple's really darkening it up nicely. It's still kind of coming off as glittery though, but I can live with it. It's not like super sparkly. Yeah, it's fine. It comes off less as a that oily sheen that crows have. What? What? Cats. Cats are the real goblins of the world. I went to crack my knuckle and it did not crack. Alright. Administratum Gray. I'm going to use a little of this on my paper towel instead of the thing so that I can dry brush it onto his face. And some of the rock too. Alright, this brush has been gotten a little hooked. I'm actually used to my advantage by just facing the hook away from it and swiping that way. That way the bristles don't have anywhere that they're not pointing in the right direction where they can like flick inside any of the cracks and fill them in. Not cracks, but you know what I mean. The little mustache. Maybe the creases or folds in the model. The recesses, that's the word. The crow is dripping purple ink. Oops, over-applied it. That covers his beard. Let's get his hair. His hood. A little bit more on the brush. Side of the face. Just a little bit more here, which has got some fresh Nuln Oil on it. Look, it looks like still. Whoops. It's still a little wet. I'm just going to put enough paint on it to drown out the wet spot, so I don't have to come back and fix it later. Alright, there's his beard. So let's get a little bit on the rock thing. His crystal chunk. Really light brush strokes on it. Just light enough to hit the edges. I'm going to avoid the center of the sigil. And I might get just a little bit of white on it. Just a tiny bit. The edges here. Give kind of a polished spear point edge look to it. Not polished, you know what I mean. Jagged, sharp, pointy. Polished, I don't know what I'm talking about. Bit of white on the beard. Just a teensy bit of white on the beard. A little bit lighter than his hair. Alright. Alright, so now we've got the face, the staff, the sigil. There's a couple points I'm going to do silver, but I'm going to do those after the other highlights. But I think it's time to highlight. And I think a lot of this got darkened enough when I applied the Agrax Earth Shade that a lot of this I think I could just highlight with its original base color. So I'm going to do that for cloak. I think that looks pretty good. First streak. The problem I'm dealing with right now is it's now a little shiny because of the gloss. And because of the light I have so close to myself, it's actually kind of hard for me to tell what's bright and highlighted and what is just wet and shiny looking. Like, is it coming off the brush, or am I just wiping nothing? Some of these, oh, this is an okay angle, kind of. At least for the piece I am currently painting. Ooh, I was resting on my wrist, I was shaking a little. Don't do that. Always work with a steady hand. So this isn't like a real noticeable highlight. Doesn't really need to be because of its color scheme. Oh, I left a paint open right in front of me. What am I even doing? This part doesn't even need the highlight. It like didn't get any over there. So this part I do want to give the highlight. This part is not supposed to be dark because it's fully exposed. So a few drops of the Agrax pooled on it. Look at his hood. Other ones I am going to do a more defined highlight colors. Because this isn't standing out too much, but it's standing out just enough. And I think the Agrax really stood out on this one. Well, you know, it also gets the XV88 is also darkened a lot too. So I might I'll highlight that one too with its original one. All right, so there is the cloak highlight. I'm gonna leave his glove how it is because in his boots. Because those I figure are dark leather. They're going to be tanned a lot. They're going to be probably oiled and greasy just to keep the leather workable. I think that's how leather works mostly. This is one of those, the runny one I work straight out of the pot with. All right. So his pants tunic thing. My stand is in the way. Sometimes the stands are great, sometimes the stands are just in the way. A little bit that has pooled on around his knee. That kind of looks like a slight fold in the fabric, so I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to paint over it, just so it keeps that kind of semi-folded fabric look. The fabric's just starting to crease. Here in the middle. And just a bit here on his leg. Even some dark spots for the shade. And a little bit here on his arm and sleeve. Does have a crease around the sleeve. There, and then oh, he's got some on with whatever this inner Jedi robe looking thing is. And a little bit on his crow holding arm. Everyone needs a good solid crow holding arm. Right. So now there's a couple other spots there. Clean it up just a little bit. Yeah, I think his tunic looks pretty good. I might be able to get a slight highlight looking color if I use whatever I used earlier, the lighter brown, this one. Catachan. I think that's what this was here. Super standout. It's not super standout. Oh, that's like perfect. Oh, that is perfect. All right, if you want to highlight Rhinox, use the Catachan. Just apply it in a few brush strokes just to get a few kind of streaky, flexed and folded highlights going in there. But it's kind of hard because it's dark. going on a dark paint, which is reflecting a lot of light because it's almost glossy looking now. I'm having a little trouble seeing what I'm doing. Shit. Alright. Alright, I see it now. Kind of. I can't hold my brush at this angle, but... Right. But here and there. A little bit more. Almost out. I don't want to have to actually get more out. But I might have to because I gotta do a staff too. But I think a staff, I'm just gonna be like, here's a few smudges here and there. Here's kind of a lumpy bark texture. A few random brush swipes just to give it a kind of a chunky, mismatched, rough look. Well, you know what? That's kind of working. Let me see if I can get the last little bit of this brown. I don't want to have to get another blob, so I'm doing more effort to be lazy. I used to work with a guy who would do that. He'd put in more effort to do less work, and it would just take more time. So, like if you had, like, a bunch of oil drums on a pallet, you could move them, you could load them, but it would be really hard because it's gravel, and it's going to be a pain in the ass. And you could do it, but he'd, like, go and insist on getting a forklift and everything, and oh, I forgot the sleeve. You know, like whole sets of stuff involved, and you just end up like waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like, okay, at this point we could have just moved it ourselves and been done, but now you've got us waiting on everything. It sounds like we're skirting safety issues. It wasn't a safety thing, it was just more like a convenience thing. Like, nope, perfectly capable of sliding this thing 10 feet into the back of our truck, but this guy wants to go get the forklift and the ramps and the plant manager, and why did this job take 3 hours? It was just supposed to be a pickup. Well, Dave wanted to go get the forklift. This drum's only weighed 200 pounds. It's like, yeah. But Dave insisted on getting the fucking forklift. Alright. So, now that that's done. Alright, the browns are done, which means we got a little silver. There it is. Okay, make sure I'm not missing anything. Eyes, face, raven. Boots, tunic, cloak, pouch full of weed. Glow in the dark eyes. Staff is done. Yeah, just this little. The raven still looks kind of weird. Alright, let's do a little silver, and I'll think about the raven. So he does have this little blade. A little silver on the pommel, a little silver on the blade edge. For some reason they put no paint on the blade tip. There we go. Just the tip. And I think that's a buckle. A lot of these guys have their belts like tied in a big knot with like 3 feet of belt hanging off to the side. And so many of them have it, I just started to accept this was the way that medieval people tied belts. I think that was it. I think that was just the 2 spots. The blade and the belt. look at the crow. Raven is fairly shiny. It does have a purple metallic sheen to him. So I'm just going to do a little Corvus black on his like crow shoulders and head. Because he's looking a little too shiny there. And even though this is really, really subtle, it does seem to be working. Very faint, but it's doing just what I needed it to do. Just trying to tone down the shininess. I gave the crow glowing eyes too. Woohoo! His tail. Tip of his beak looks like it got scraped a little. There we go. It gives him a nice, nice matte finish. Darkens him up a little, gets rid of less of the purple glow. And if I get my Psycho Brush and the paint again, I'll give the crow some glowing eyes. Just because. Radagast is Game of Thrones warging into him. I don't know. It's a shame the camera can't pick it up because their eyes are glowing, the staff is glowing. Looks pretty sick. Oh, the staff even glows a little bit because of the white paint on it. All right. I'm not doing his base right now because I'm going to 3D print up a bunch of little critters and put them on there. I got some STLs for like squirrels and foxes and stuff. So I got to print up some really tiny ones and stick them on there. But what time is it? 9:30? All right. But that is it. Radagast is finished. The camera resolution isn't too great, but let me see if I can get like a halfway decent look at him for you guys. All right, the big magnifying glass. Kind of works. It works a little bit. Thank you for the follow. A little glossy. The cloak looks fine. The cloak is his entire bag is just cloak, so. But the can't quite pick up on the shine on that crow. It is kind of a purple glittery. Their eyes in the sigil glowing looks great, but no one's ever gonna see it because I'm never gonna shine a black light on my models like in the middle of a tournament or middle of a game. And I'm probably not gonna stick them out under a black light normally, so it's just a little secret Easter egg on my model. But I'll post some better pictures on my Twitter later, just at Flemel Sterling. Same as my username here. Because that's usually where I can get the better pictures of them. And that's usually where I end up posting everything. But I'm going to do, including the critters, I'm going to do his base like I've done my Lothlorien elves with different colored leaves. Just kind of a lumpy, foresty chunks. This is like the worst model I could have picked up. He's got the flag anyway. Everything else is in a box right now. I had to pull this flag up because I'm doing the wood elves, and the wood elf banner bearer has no texture on it, so I gotta freehand the whole thing, and it's not my favorite. But those guys, those elves have like wrecked my hands over the past few days. Oh, did I leave that Saruman downstairs? I have a Saruman downstairs. Might be able to do him real quick too. All right, let me be right back. I'll be back in like a minute. I'll be right back. I primed him. I realized I forgot him downstairs. So I'll be right back. All right, that was faster than I thought. All right, so I've got so many Sarumans. So one of the things I wanted to do was make a Saruman of Many Colors, which I mentioned earlier. Radagast, painting Radagast went pretty quick, so let's paint a Saruman. So he's already primed white-ish. He's not going in there easy. There we go. That thing I said earlier that I always forget. Magnets. Right. This is one of the heavier models. So I actually have every Saruman except for Sharky, and I finished painting them all the other day. So this one's actually a duplicate model that I have. So I was like, hey, normally I keep things pretty screen accurate, but you never get to see Saruman of Many Colors. He never does that in the movies. They never made a model of him. So one magnet in there. Let's see, where is Fat Brush? So let's get... I've got these metallic color shift paints. I don't know how they're really gonna work. I haven't used the color shift ones. The company TurboDork suggests you put them over a black base coat, but that just seems like too dark and it creates too little of a shine, in my opinion. From what I can see of like people like showing the paint off, they just looked a little too dark. So I'm gonna try putting them over white, just because I really want like the opalescent kind of light refraction from it, rather than metallic glitter, really. I don't really know what they intended for the paint, personally, because I haven't seen anybody use it as like part of a model. I've only ever seen like, hey, we bought this paint, here's what it looks like on a model, and it's just like they took an entire model and painted it just the solid color on the recommended one. So it's like, it's black, but it's a little spark. It turned out like the Raven, actually. Mostly black, kind of glittery. It's black with like a hint of like maybe red glitter or orange glitter. It's like, well, I want to see how bright and shiny I can get. I don't want it to be like a subtle metallic. I want it to be a bright, in-your-face, color-changing, glow for the Saruman. But I've never used the paint before, so we'll find out how it works. I just want to... Games Workshop whites are not white. This is the Vallejo one. Going over the white, which is much the Games Workshop, what, Codex white? Codex white? Codex white, I think. Which is just a light gray. So I'm just doing this quick base coat. I actually probably should have used this as the chance to do the highlights, actually. And leave like all the recesses with the gray. I wasn't thinking. Wasn't thinking on that one. Ew, my paintbrush is all salty. This is gross. Ew, I'm holding it in my mouth. Gross. Ugh. What? Gross. Wasn't the best flavor. I just said I was not going to do that, but I just saw a bunch of pewter showing through, so. Darken that up. Get that coating so it's all covered. I'll leave his, like, the robe sticking out of his sleeves. I'm going to leave them whatever color I did them on the other model. Da-da. Ooh, missed over here. So this should be light enough, I think, for the... There's a little bit that went unprimed. Clean this. This used to be one of my friend's models. He gave me all of his old stuff, and I've just been cleaning up and repainting stuff. But I'd already finished my own Saruman in this pose. Palantir and everything. So it was like, well, I can't have two of the same one unless I make one of them weird. So we're going to make this Saruman weird today. Tonight. This evening. This late evening when I should probably be going to bed and getting ready for work tomorrow, but I woke up at noon, so I got energy. If I were to go to bed now, I'd just like sit there for several hours till like 2 a.m. Sleep is for the weak. Staff in there. Staff's gonna be hard to get to properly with paint, but this is why you save yourself some really rough garbage brushes. So you can get forced into cracks and get into every little nook and cranny you need to without worrying about like messing up a tip. Like this thing has been trimmed and cut and sliced and reshaped so many times. It's like a quarter the size it's actually supposed to be. Let's see, do a little more here. There. And this here could use a little bit more. There's little spots where it went on a little thin. Let me patch those up. couple more spots on his back. All right. Set that down. It's the wet side. Let me stick it here in this little hole. There we go. Hey, that works. Get that other magnet in there. My magnet stick. There it is. Stick that in there too. Well, I glued it to my finger. A little bit. So this Saruman I'm going to glue in right away, just because he doesn't have any undermodel stuff. His robes go like all the way to the floor, so I'm okay not having to get up under anything. Trying to stand my super glue up. It's not a flat base. Alright. That guy sitting on there for a second. Boom. Alright. Two paints I want to play with are Turbo Dark, Laserface, and 40 Glasses. Both look pretty different. So I'm gonna. His robes are like really folded over, so I'm gonna do like every other fold of different one of these. I think. And I think those will kind of come through that way, because the 40 Glasses goes from like a teal to magenta, and this one goes from like a magenta to a green and yellow and stuff. So I think that might make him kind of rainbowy, which is what I want. So shake well, clear tip, must be applied over black undercoat, blah blah blah. 4 to 5 thin layers with airbrush or hand brush. 4 to 5 layers is just there. So I'm gonna start with the darker one first. If the darker one goes on like really dark, it means I'll have to just apply more of that one. So let's clean that up. Clear the tip. That is weird looking. Is the I don't know if the camera picks up on that. That is, it's purple and blue and green at the same time, but it's also a liquid. That is neat looking. All right. So let's do, how many coats does this one say? 1 coat, 2 coat, 3 to 5. Let's see how this looks over the white. All right, I can see why it's going to need 3 to 5. It is a metallic, so it does do that thing where like you can see the little metallic pieces separating. But it is producing a little shiny Saruman sheen to it. It's almost like looking at a little blob of oil slick. All right, so we'll do a next bit here. Paint looks so weird. This is neat. I like this paint. It's bizarre and strange, but what I'm trying to go for with it. I want it to be a weird, almost psychedelic looking Saruman. Alright, so the next fold is going to be the other stuff. Which one is this? This is the laser face. Keep carrying this up and up and up. Do it this side. And I'm going to bring a little bit of it down to the middle of this larger piece just to break it up a little. Also, because I'm trying to get like some areas to almost be, if I can get some areas to actually have like a full spectrum, that'd be great. I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Need some inside. Ooh, now that I've applied a little more, it is getting a little purpley.
Like more watermelon.
Oh, sure.
Look at the city one.
Thanks, hon. This is going to be a long process, I think, for him. But what I'm seeing so far is making it, looks like it's going to be pretty worth it. Well, the camera's picking up any of the shine. Quite. Kind of a shame. Looks pretty cool. Down here. There's overlap in the creases. Maybe that'll be maybe they'll darken up enough. I'll put some here in this chest part. Oh, hon, did you get blown up? My wife's playing Minecraft.
I got first. Well,
Ah, okay.
I
So we got exploded. All right. The inside of the robes. Yeah, I hope the spots where it overlaps might darken a little bit, but I'm not sure it's going to do that. Basically every other fold I'm gonna do the other metallic thing. So the front side, after I do this bit, the front side will have had 2 coats. And I think I'm just gonna have to keep bouncing back and forth on the front side, like it says, like 3 to 5 times. Because every time I do, it does get a little smoother. It does recommend you use an airbrush too, but I don't have an airbrush. A lot of the older models don't really require an airbrush. They're like, their textures are so not well defined. The textures are so like over the top, I guess. Like this one. This guy's robe is just all folds everywhere. So you don't really need an airbrush to do highlights on. All right. Be coat number 3. It up through there. I missed that part. Yeah, each coat it does get more smoothly metallic-y, shiny. I do have a little rotating pedestal I can put them on at the end to see how it changes when you're looking at it. All right, still under there. Get the third coat on the other side. I don't know if I've been letting it dry properly in between. Sometimes that can be a problem with metallics. If you don't let it really dry in between, you just end up like pulling up some of the paint and leaving gaps in the sheen. This one's too bright. Let me see if I can get the camera focus just enough to show it. So that camera focuses enough. You can see the shine from where I put it, but you can't. It doesn't give you the color. At this point, it's almost like a lavender glow. Right. Coat number 4. I can kind of see why they want you to put it over a black coat. I think the light coat underneath, because it's a pretty transparent paint, I think the light coat shows through too much, and you can see the different gaps and strokes in the paint. But I'm just going to keep applying it till it stops doing that. So keep going till it works. Dun, dun, dun. Sometimes I think about getting an airbrush. Some of the newer models would be handy, like the Felby swings and things like that. Things that are going to be hard to slowly fade textures into. So some points on this are really vibrant and standing out now. It actually almost looks like the thinner, sharper points show the sheen much better. Like down here, or this part right there, show it really well. And then like the inner parts don't show it like at all. It's way like putting globs out of that were clearly like thicker and just meant to like sit there and dry. Right. So what is that? 4 coats on the front, I think. They were going to 3 to 5. I'll do like 6. Well, let's see what the 40 glasses looks like next to it. Oh, that one was clogged slightly and a bunch squirted out. A little bit more here. This one does seem to have a bit more of a pearlescent kind of shine to it as a liquid. All right, let's see what this white stuff looks like. Yeah, there's a lot of yellow and greens in it. It's a pretty decent yellowy green. All right, all right. It's not bad. What happens if I mix the paints together? Oh, my wife got blown up again. A bunch of this just down here in this crack. Crack. I always call them cracks. I mean recess. Down here in this recess. Okay. Once I get this first coat on the front, I'm gonna do a little experiment on the back. I'm gonna see what happens when I cross the paints over each other. I'm gonna have them overlap over his back. I'll see how that turns out. So this 40 glasses doesn't have quite the same pearlescent to the liquid, but it does seem to have an almost finer glitter sheen.
Good night.
So right here. All right. I think I got his whole front coated at least once. Well, I guess I could do the sleeve part too. I really hope this looks really weird and shimmery at the end. It's kind of hard to tell what these paints are going to do without actually having ever used them before. I probably should have put them on a piece of practice plastic, but all right. So I'm going to do half his back, or 2/3 of his back. Let's see. Okay, hold on. This will be dark, light, Okay, okay. Dark, light, dark, okay. The middle and his back right, I'm gonna do along with that symbol with the laser face 40. I don't remember. The green and yellowy one. Here, I'm gonna start doing the color streaks. Whoop! Dropped him on his face. Right, which means that'll be dark. This will be light here, with dark in the middle. Glob on it. Bit of a glob on it. Let me get more of the laser face. So this is actually starting to get almost too dark in spots. So I'm not going to use it more on, I think, like his two front roby bits, but I will get it in little spots where it isn't quite as solidly defined yet. This is creating a darker darker coloration to it. I still want it to kind of look fairly. I still want his robes to look fairly white. This one could use a little bit more to match the other side, though. It's a little bit more on parts of this. All right, let's do the back side. So with the overlap in the center, put full coverage on the side. I want to see what happens when the middle areas overlap. Are we gonna get? We're gonna give him a kind of prismatic look, or am I just gonna make a weird glitter bombed Saruman? Wrong paint. Saruman's just mad because Gandalf glitter bombed him. That's what turns him to the dark side. A little bit sticking out here. I'm gonna get. Does kind of transition a little bit. I'm trying to look at them. Maybe I should have it just kind of combined pretty well. My paints merged, the two blobs shifted, and they have merged. Shit. Alright, that's light, so this will be dark here. But you have to look at, I keep having to rotate it and figure out what I've painted with what pearlescent color. Make sure I don't leave any gaps. Alright, okay. Up over the shoulder. Down along the side, in the recesses. Oh yeah, I finally called it the right thing. Right. The camera is not picking up any. You can, okay, you can see a slight bit of it when it's kind of in the shadow of my hand. That's where I've done the laser face so far. It's more 4D glasses on it. And the laser face is just the darker one. The glitter bits are darker, but it still almost comes off like just as transparent as 4D glasses. Does everyone have their 3D glasses? I don't think the audience got their 3D glasses. 3D glasses not available in all areas. So there are parts where I've done 3D glasses where it's actually coming through pretty nicely already, even after just one coat. Like it's almost more consistent than the laser face. Drop. It's also kind of interesting because it's like the color and shine is all there right up until it isn't. Oh wow, I'm getting blobs of it on the base. Oh, it looks great on the base. Maybe I should not do this. Maybe I should have listened to their advice and applied it on a black undercoat. Maybe the people who made the product knew what they were doing with the instructions for the product. Who would have guessed that? Spare base over here somewhere. Oh, holy shit, that is like instant pearlescent. Oh, man, I made a mistake. This looks great. Wow. Well, I was a fool. All right, lesson learned. Yeah, this works. This looks so good on a blank background. All right, well, I'm gonna keep going because I started it. I'm gonna finish it and see it all the way through. Worst case scenario, I just have to strip the model. That's really the worst case, and I just prime on black instead. Stupid, stupid, stupid. It does have a slight gritty texture to it when you start applying a few layers. But the sheen is so nice. And then once this is all like metallic and shiny and lovely, I gotta paint like a regular looking face on it. On him. Right in the crevices. More here on the front. Get more in here. All right, let's put a second coat here on the base. Yeah. Yeah, I made a mistake. It's even like purple at different angles. Oh, man. All right. Back to more laser face. Let me put the laser face on here. All right, this one's less good looking, but it still looks pretty great. Here on the side, get that all in there. And then some of the middle. This is still probably a little bit wet, but I'll see how they overlap. Because the bright green from under here is shining through like so much. It doesn't even look like green to the camera. It's showing up blue on the camera. It's like a sea green to me. Chartreuse. Alright, some laser face on his back. Oh, his Pancake's back begging for food. Hey, buddy. Saruman looks like he's covered in sand. Fortunately, the laser face seems to build up pretty quick, so after like 3-4 coats and spots, it looks pretty good. Alright, so I'm basically getting like purple streaks and yellow streaks right now. I'm seeing how it overlaps, but it's turned out pretty decent so far. Just a little bit here, blend it in here. I think maybe blending would have worked really well.
What did you get?
Oh, I forgot the spot.
Aw. Honey, the tree went under the aquarium.
Aw, Pancakes, you lose your treats under the aquarium, buddy.
Okay.
Give him more treats, hon? You've rewarded his failures?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
These are a little baby tool.
Yeah, he is. He's a baby. Pancakes, buddy, I didn't want to say this, but you're a whiny baby.
Yeah, Daddy didn't.
I did want to say this, actually. I've been holding this in, buddy. Buddy, you're a whiny baby.
Cute baby.
Cats.
Watching a documentary about a textile sewing shop in like the early 1900s.
Is it the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, how do you know all this?
We were taught about that, and it was just like a huge one in workers' rights. Well, while Dr. Wife plays Minecraft, she also watches documentaries. She's watching one right now on the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire. You know, fun historical moments like that.
Don't want to be a schmuck. You can't just be a doctor in one little area.
So the 40 glass. This one dry a little bit. The 40 glass is like goes on really strong as its base coat. I'm trying to see if in the middle I can turn to get a nice combo, or if it's nice transition in between, or what. Because it's questionable on the rest of him. If I knew it was gonna look, maybe I'd go with like a dark gray instead of black, or maybe I would just go with black. Let me add a little bit of my whatever this was that I smooshed in here earlier. What does that look like over black? How does that one look? 4 to 5 layers. I'm gonna see. Yeah, I'm gonna shake this up a bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of this to it. Whoops. Almost threw it. But I'm not 100% convinced that this didn't like settle out, because it came out with a lot of just clear liquid, despite shaking it up a lot. So I think this bottle may have been originally filled. Okay, so that looks a lot different than the first paint I got out earlier. But I want to add more 40 glasses first. That pancakes boy, always screaming, always yelling. I really wish the camera was picking up these colors properly. It's just a weird effect of the light, and it can't really handle it, I don't think. So I've got oh, it's not Black 3.0. It was the Green Stuff World one. Max Darth. And painting with that is difficult. It's very hard to see. But the camera does not pick it up at all. It is a little black void in my hand on the camera. And while you can see it while you're painting it, it's not like, Vanta Black. But it is dark. But the camera doesn't see any of it. It's like, oh, look at that. And you just see a void. Is that the pancakes boy? What's up, buddy? Fat cat just staring up at me. He used to be pear-shaped. It's a fat cat, hun. He used to be pear-shaped.
You don't listen to your dad.
Son, don't listen to her. You used to be pear-shaped.
You are beautiful shaped.
Our record is to see what he could eat. We gave him just can after can after can. He ate 5 whole cans of cat food.
Well, but we remember that.
It's like our big, like, yeah, this dude eats. We need to lock things away because he will just eat. If he can get away with it, that he will spend all day just eating. So your cat weighs 16 pounds. It's like, yeah. He's not a big cat either. It's like, oh boy. Start locking up your food. We have. He outsmarted the locks and he ate everything the other day. One time we went on vacation, so we left him with an automatic feeder. And our friend who was watching all of our cats while we were gone sent us a picture on like day 2. It was like, oh my god, he got into it and it was just empty. This cat ate the entire feeder worth of food. And not only was it, what did he get into it? We had it like shoved underneath a table, like a preparation table, so that you could not move it. Like you had to really shove this heavy steel table, get someone else to help you lift it just to get this feeder out from under it, just to keep the lid on. Because we kind of anticipated he'd try to get into it. He was also taped shut. He pushed through all of it. He pushed it out from under the table. He got the lid off. He unscrewed the lid. He undid the tape. He ate it. It's like, buddy, that was supposed to last you a week. And your brother's a week. But nope. Sport, you went and ate all of it, didn't you? Thanks a lot, kitty cat. And he's just like, yeah, it was delicious. I want more. Buddy. Now that I've done a few more 40 glasses on him, he is starting to get more of a shine. That is, it's not as the 40 glasses doesn't leave like any color on him, but you do get a lot of this green and yellow metallic shine on him. But the laser face does leave like a purple pink on him when it's not being lit up and glowing. So I'll get a little bit more on the practice base. So let's just keep applying thin coats. Whoop. So that's 3 coats on the base with what's blue on there. I really want to see how the blue looks, because the blue, it doesn't show up on the black very well at all, and I'm wondering if it'll show up really nice on the white, because I did use it for the Ladrill. I watered it down so it kind of became an ink that would flow into the recesses. And it did kind of work. So she does kind of have a slight ethereal look to her. Like spots that should be dark are instead glittery. Some of it will be ouch. Alright. So the 40 glasses kind of overpowers the laser face if it's applied first. Really just creates a big thing of green. Put a little bit more here on the back. This is going to take so many coats, but it's looking interesting. Not bad or anything. It's just a little weird. I'm okay with weird. I'm okay with strange looking models. Sometimes, if it works. This is starting to push itself a little into not quite working. hard to really tell exactly why. It's only the spots where I did like 4 coats in the front came out really well, and the spots where I'm at like 3 coats on the back just are nowhere near quite how they were looking on the front. Like there's just a huge difference in depth of color and darkness to it. But I think that'll change like in a coat or two. It's a real shame the camera's not picking it up. It's yeah, the camera is literally showing you no color at all. Like I gotta like shade it just right for you to pick up on the purple. White, purple. Just a weird paint. Not gonna lie, it's neat. They don't quite combine well, it seems. They're almost let's see what happens if I add a little bit of blue. Add some blue on this edge. Oh man, you can't see any of this blue. Make it more blue. That blue does not come through at all. So I'm going to keep applying it until it does. I'm gonna mess this up so bad. This is so weird. It's so weird looking up at the camera and there's just nothing. And I look down at my hands and it's all this shimmery greens and purples. Kind of hoping the laser face would have a little. The laser face says it's got purple to green, but it's almost entirely green. You gotta like. It at a really low angle, and then it goes almost immediately to purple. It doesn't have any of the yellow in it. So maybe I would strip. What the fuck is this glob? That is a huge glob of crap that came out. It's like half my paint glob is just chunk. Maybe I'd strip it. There's more glob. Get out of here, glob. And like, well, I really want the color changing aspect, so I don't know if I were to just take like metallic paints and do like a rainbow around him, or if I should keep going for weird pearlescence. Because that's really what I want. I really want the color change aspect. This is kind of affording. That's why I wanted to do the tetraethyl orthosilicate experiment. Because if I can get a mold of Saruman made, I think I could get a opal to form in the shape of the one where he's like clutching the staff next to him. The original, or this is the original, the Two Towers model. Because I think I can get that in there, and then it like I can just snap all of the staff. If the staff doesn't form, that's fine. I can just 3D print something. But it's a solid like single shape. There isn't like a lot of stuff coming off of that model. If I can get the opal to deposit into it in that shape, I could have a reflective stone rainbowy opal Saruman. That would just be sick. Absolutely killer looking. I am seeing overlap, and the overlap is actually looking pretty nice. And some of these little crevasses, right where they were next to each other. Part of me's kind of wondering if that could work. This model is entirely experimental. If this I already painted my Radagast really well, so I'm tonight is a win on that. Like tonight's already a success for me. I really like that model. So now it's just a matter of seeing, hey, what is this weird experiment going to turn out like? And so far, it's weird, and I'm cool with it, mostly. There's a couple little bits here and there that are like, okay, this would have been nice, a little different. And I think if I were to do this again, I would check to see how different the bases are for these paints, because that's a big color difference. So it's like, hey, if I can get a bunch of light colored ones and apply them all together, that might work out perfectly fine. Without having to do maybe some of this pink purple tapering in between stuff. Because it's a nice metallic shine on here where it was applied in thinner areas. This lighter, wider area looks like I just spilled glitter. Like you can see the bits very clearly. It's less of a metallic crust and more of just a spilled glitter. But I think with more coats it'll fix it. And I'm just talking in circles now at this point, really. Because this is basically a cyclical step. Apply the purple, apply the yellow, apply the purple, apply the yellow. Figure out why the yellow looks weird. Apply a little less purple, apply a little more purple. Maybe figure out the blue. So maybe I coat the whole thing in the laser phase or in the 4D, and I add the other stuff, spaces here and there. Okay, so a couple. This is just the second part of the coat of the blue, and it's already leaving like the corner a slight bluish hue, which is I'm liking. So I want to apply a couple other spots just to add blue, just to complicate my model before I get any final results, and I'm going to keep messing with it. Do they ever recommend doing that? No. I'm going to do it just because I can. Yeah, and that looks so much different on a blue base, on a black base. It's almost like you can barely see the. So this is the blue, and this is 2 coats of the laser, and this is the overlap between 2 coats of that and like 3 of the laser. No, 4D laser blue. I'm getting these names are confusing. Let's see. 10:30. Oops. All right. Let me take a look at this guy. the laser face is building up quite nicely. The 40 is also building up actually even better. So let me kind of keep applying some of the laser face in spots. It all applies nicely. It is creating a kind of nice transition here. That is actually kind of working. It's not like a real colorful transition, but it is like, or what I mean to say, it's not like it's a color shifty transition. It's just more like, here's purple, here's green, in between them is kind of a purple and green. It's not like any kind of major thing happened. Not quite a major success, but and I wonder, that's probably because I put it over white, because it's in the light, it does make the pearlescent sheen, but without the light on it, I can just see the glitter bits, and I think that might be what my issue is that I've got an invisible medium that carries over the pearlescent sheen and a very visible chunk of glitter that just helps like refract some of the light throughout it. Like how much of that glitter can I get into some spots without making it as dark as it was in the front? Because the front got pretty dark. Glob that up in there. A little bit of glob under here. I'm going to see what happens if I just let a glob dry. A little more to this base. Science. Middle spots getting there a little bit. You can almost see it on the. So the camera can kind of pick it up on here. You can see it's almost like a violet, white, orange, and then I tilt it forward. It's more of a green, white, red. Unfortunately, the model doesn't quite do that. I'm going to start rotating the model.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I think if I were to redo this on his back, I would do a slightly smoother transition. Well, no, this is okay. I'd try to do more transitional overlaps than I did on the front. On the front, it makes the not having any overlap actually makes them stand out more, but not in like not quite in the way I would have intended. Having this overlap in the back actually does kind of give it a purple to green sheen, because the 4D glasses comes on very smoothly. It's not vibrant, but it is smoother. So I do have a few spots that are like I said, spilled glitter versus a oil sheen. And I got some fuzz in here. What is this? Is there any more glitter left in this paint? Or am I just applying coat after coat with no glitter anymore? Alright, let me start working with the blue. I'm going to start applying the blue into our spots. Because I think that might be what kind of saves the rainbowy transition that I was going for. Start finding a few spots to put it here and there. A few layers till it starts to build up and add color. It's kind of doing in the corners. Let me add here. Kind of like it in there. Where else? I should add some here. I wonder what this would look like over just the plane. How many layers does this say to apply? 3 to 5? Yep, 3 to 5. That actually is doing a lot for it. Having some of this just here and there is adding like enough of a bluish transition that I wonder if I should get an orange. Because I think an orange would help blend a little more of it. Just like overall in the model. I do have red. I could apply a few streaks of red in here. All right, break out the red. Let me just add 30 colors to this guy. He will be Saruman of Many Colors. Hey, Pancakes, buddy, what's up? Saruman of Too Many Colors. What's up, buddy? If I was going to do all, knew I was going to go through all this, I would just paint him silver and put shades on it, washes over him. Hey, buddy. Pancakes is baby. Pancakes, buddy, you're a whiny baby. I want you to know that. He's the whiniest. Don't give me that look. Don't give me that look. You know you're a whiny baby.
Aw, he wants
I
you.
love you, buddy. Buddy, you want some snacks? I can give you some snacks. Okay, so the red goes on much thicker. Ooh, red was much more vibrant than I thought. Okay, let me pat a little of that away with my finger, because hey, remember when I said maybe this was a mistake? This was. Mistake I can fix, though, work with. The red clearly has more pigment shit, so I'm going to find spots where I can work it in where they meet, and I'm going to kind of use it to blend them a little. I can only use little bits at a time because it's got so much more pigment that it kind of comes through like less than smooth. Whoopsie. Pancakes, buddy, you being a pain in the butt? Oh, look at that. He's pushing his treat container around. I wonder what he wants. I wonder what this cat wants.
I don't know. Do you?
No. Pancakes, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Come here. Grab a bun. All right, pancakes. Let me let this clean this brush. All right, buddy. You can have a snack. You can have some snack, buddy. Yeah, meow. Hi, buddy. All right. But you gotta come over here first. I have to trick you into picking you up. Come here. Go for it. I threw a treat on the ground, and he is suspicious. All right, buddy. All right, buddy. He craves attention. Would you like another one? I should have seen that coming. That was dumb as shit of me. Don't touch. One more. Was I should have known that was gonna happen. Landed right in the paints, but it only got on the Palantir, so I'm cool. Did you there it buddy, you've got so much cat drool all over my desk. You didn't even eat your treat, you just smashed it around and made a mess. Ugh. I love you, buddy. Do you want to go take a nap now, please?
He wants you to take a nap.
I know. It gets that way. Alright, so let's do a little bit more red. And this is probably going to be the only red I do, but I'm going to do a little red here. Because the red has got some more pigment in it. If I take it out of the light, it looks so goofy. What have I done? Ew, it looks so terrible out of the light. Like, it just looks like a mess. Weird streaks and stripes. Shit. There's a good chance I'm gonna just strip it and take what I've learned and try to fix it. I'll put a little bit of red in here. I'm not getting much light here, so it's not glowing, so I'm just gonna put the red in there to cover the pigment, because go down. There's a hair in there. Buddy, you got a hair in my brush. Hi, buddy. What's up? I am accusing him, hon. The evidence I have is the hair in my brush.
That could have been someone else.
Was it you?
Panty's fault. You can't. No. Baby. Baby, baby, boy.
I'm liking the way the fade with the blue is turning out, so I may have to do something like that with the purplish here, just a little bit. Just a thin coat, just to ease this transition between the colors, just because it's too harsh outside the light. Can't put too much blue paint on it. This is very interesting. The way this whole mess is turning out. Not totally awful. Just strange. So purple, blue, little green. I think the blue might tie it together a bit. I say once again, messing with stuff before I'm done with it. Blue would just dry, though. That would be great. All right. All right, all right, all right. I think at some point, I'm gonna have to call this. And you can't even see any of it. That is so wild with this camera. Like you don't. This is just a white model to you. Like you can see like. Watch this part of his robe. You can kind of see some color on it, and then it's just got like no color. Sometimes it's got color, sometimes it doesn't. But like, you can see a little bit of red. This is like a whole rainbow streak, but you can't see any of it. And that's so interesting to me. Like painting this for you all to view. It's like, oh yeah, you can't actually view the thing I'm painting. You just simply can't. I think that's so funny. Ultimately, I'm probably going to strip this model and try again. But with just a little bit more knowledge behind these paints. So the blue is really pale. The blue really needs, like it says, 3 to 5 coats, like 5 at least, for it to really start showing any color. The red maybe only needs 2 to be like a full depth of color. Full deep red. The purple Laserface really gives the that really creates the more pearlescent shine to it, but it's very, very purple shine. Then he's just on the floor looking up, staring at me, buddy. Then the 4D glasses gives it a without like adding any color, it gives it a really bright metallic translucent shine. And it's very interesting. If I were to redo it, I'd probably coat the whole thing like a couple times with 4D glasses. I'm just gonna put a little bit of everything here in the crevice. Gosh, to really darken everything up. Just really make this inside a mess. And like that would give it like the greenish yellow sheen. but the 4D glasses almost doesn't, it like doesn't give it any pigment coloration. It's all a rainbowy gloss. Somewhere I have a little solar powered rotating stand. I might be able to maybe my phone will pick it up. Okay. These are both really great, interesting paints, but I did not use them properly for this at all. They do kind of combine a little on black if you transition them. Once again, the camera's picking up weird. It's very much a mix of them. It's not like a blend, like an in between. It's not like you mixed blue and yellow and got green. You mixed blue and yellow and got blue and yellow dots mixed together. If that makes any sense. It's not like a good transition color. But the problem with the 4D glass is that there's no pigment to it. So I might go find other ones like it that don't have a pigment in it. Because to add to them, the red and the blue both added pigments, and the red is very noticeable. And it's very, how do I put it? It's not chunky, but its coloration doesn't apply evenly in the brushstroke. Kind of like the Laserface, but the Laserface takes a few layers to build up before you get the rainbowy metallic sheen to it. Whereas this one is just like red immediately, but crusty, chunky, uneven. This is tough. Hi, Pancakes. Hi, buddy. So I'll probably get more light colored ones, like 4D glasses, that don't have glitter in them. It's got something in it. Maybe it's just a finer glitter. It looks like just a much finer mica powder glitter. That way he can still kind of look, his robes can still look like they're evenly colored, and then as he moves in the light, the rainbowy sheens appear. I think that's what I'll do. But yeah, these are neat paints, but I just used them wrong. It's, what is it? All right, it's 11 o'clock for me, so I have to go to work in the morning, and I was not planning on staying up this late, but oops. Hey, the Radagast we painted tonight turned out fantastic, and bits of him glow, and I'll try to get a photo of him with the glowing bits, but all his face is lighting up like crazy on the camera. You can almost see his eyes glowing. But it looks cool to me, but you guys just get the obliteratingly vibrant ball of light. So Pancakes, but yeah, Pancakes are getting upset. It's time for bed. Yeah, I'm gonna strip this and try again. But I'm really liking parts of what I did and not liking other parts. I think I'll probably use this combined well with it. It combined well to give it like a blue shaded part here. me just turn the light down. Does that pick up any of the sheen now? Like, you can see the red. Let me just fix my mess here. All right. Can you see? Well, you can see it looks kind of. It's just showing up as silver now. That is not silver at all. That's like bright green. That is. Whatever. The brushstrokes are showing, and it's got a little too much pigment parts of it. And so when the pigments aren't illuminated, the pigmented areas aren't illuminated, they show the colored glitter. Excuse me. And then the parts that have the finer glitter don't show it when they're illuminated. So when it's illuminated, this back is actually kind of a nice. If I hadn't done the red, it probably would be a nicer transition. But the red really stands out. So when it's not illuminated, I've got like sloppy red streak, sloppy purple streak, chunky blue, nothing, sloppy red streak, chunks of crap. I'd almost certainly coat it in more. These two. This does blueing up the greenish shine that this creates. This isn't even like the right color. This is bright. Well, okay. This is what it looks like applied over black. You can see the color transition. It does do that over black. This doesn't quite. But my hobby store has stuff, has more, so I'll go there sometime soon. But all right, I'm gonna call it a night. I would try to do one of the raid somebody else and help pass some of you guys on to check out their stuff. But I broke my chat, so I can see chat, but I can't do anything with it. I don't know what I did. I have to go back and figure out how I had it before. But I accidentally deleted all my settings, so I will figure that out. But got a great Radagast done that I'm thrilled with the glowy parts.
What's this?
Hold on one second. Jungle Temple. I may have already rated it.
Okay.
In the area, but you can watch it. There's traps and there's like arrow traps, so I'll try to kill you. But we got one wizard done fantastically that I'm thrilled with, and I'm now that his crow has dried, the effect's kind of gone, but it still looks pretty good. I'm thrilled with the glow and the rune in his staff. And I learned I don't like how Saruman turned out, but I learned a lot about these paints. So, anyways, I've got to get to bed. This stream got delayed a lot because of the weather pushed the storm back. But normally I mini paint on Fridays, and I'll try to get gaming or something else done either another day of the weekend or during the week if I've got time. I just did a full playthrough of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time a couple days ago, which took me longer than I remembered playing as a kid. But anyways, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you all for joining me tonight while I was working. It's always good when a handful of people hop in. It's always fun. But I'm going to head to bed now. So for all of you, have a good night. Hopefully I see some of you next Friday. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's when I paint is Fridays at 8. But we kept losing power. I can't stream without power, so but yeah, have a good night. Hope to see you all next time, and I will see you later. Have a good evening.